When are we going to leave ISO? This is taking so much out of me and everyone that I know. Goddamn, I want to apologise to you if you're on the east coast of Australia, more so than anyone else at the moment, because we've had it pretty terribly, especially Melbourne and Sydney, right? Well, Sydney right now is getting another huge effing lockdown happening to us, all because of this woman right here, Gladys, right? Gladys Big Nose Berejiklian. If you are a part of the police force, right, and you want to sniff some drugs down, forget about those dogs. This dog right here will sniff those drugs from a mile away, all right? Do you need to find a dead body in the police squad, right? Well, a cadaver dog? No. This is the person you use, right? That goddamn nose is going to do a better sniffing job than any dog I've ever seen. Now, going back to what we're talking about, right? We've been on lockdown for so long. The impact that this is causing us Australians, and not to mention the world, obviously, but just focusing on the east coast of Australia right now, in Sydney specifically is where I live, right? These lockdowns are causing so much mental grief to people, including myself, people I know. People can't see families. My father recently passed away. We were lucky enough to go to the funeral, but we were only allowed 10 people. But I'm not even allowed to visit the grave. It's been a year. It's been just a little over a month now since he passed away. I can't visit his grave at all. This is destroying people's minds. This is destroying our way of life. And what effect will this have on us in years' time, right? When this fucking virus is completely gone. Hopefully it's gone soon. It probably most likely won't be, right? But when it does go, what lasting effects will this have on our mental state? Let's talk a little bit about this now, but I want to read some articles. So we'll remove we'll remove the cadaver dog off the screen for a second. Sydney faces curfew and longer lockdowns as Australia Delta outbreak grows. So this is the problem that we're facing right now in Sydney a little bit more, right? You know, Sydney coronavirus lockdown has been extended for another month. New South Wales has reported another 642 local cases and 4 deaths. You know, it sucks. People dying because of this goddamn virus. It's terrible, right? No one wants to see that. But what are the actual suicide rates? You know, people are not happy in their situation. You know, ISO is destroying people's mindsets, right? Some people are able to deal with it a little better than others, all right? But what death rate is this actually doing to our society more than COVID, right? Suicide, self-harm, all right? So from Monday, curfews. This is the goddamn new thing that's just pissing me off, and a lot of people too, right? From Monday, curfews will be imposed in Western Sydney council areas of concern for the lockdown, right, which has placed 5 million people under a stay-at-home lockdown order since June, right? It's been extended to now September 30th. And the curfew is going to be from 9 p.m. at night to 5 in the morning. You're not allowed to leave your house. You can't go down to McDonald's to drive and get some Macca's takeaway. Oh, no. You're not going to get those Macca's takeaway at 2 in the morning, right? When you're feeling like an ice cream or something. No. Why are we being told now to stay at home from 9 a.m. from 9 p.m. I should say to 5 a.m. I mean, who's catching the virus at that time of night anyway? Like, we're all doing our shopping and doing social things like walking and exercising during the day, right? If you're having a goddamn house party, well, you shouldn't be having that anyway. But that's another question for another day, all right? So, thanks to Gladys, she's now causing all of us to have problems up here. Now, I used to hate another Premier of New South Wales more than her, but now I hate her the most. But who was my first hated Premier? Well, it was Barry O'Farrell, because he removed the goddamn Sydney monorail. Thanks, Barry. What a waste of freaking money that was. And what a beautiful icon Sydney once had with the monorail. Barry, you son of a bitch. No, you shouldn't have done that. But yes, I don't hate him as much anymore. Thanks, Big Nose Sniffer Dog Gladys. You've taken the cake. She's taken the cake and she's eaten it too, unfortunately. But going to this, right? Gladys, there's an ad. There's an ad about bras, apparently. How Gladys... Fuck, this website. Woo! Give me strength, everybody. How Gladys Berejiklian promised just 4 weeks ago that she would never plunge New South Wales into lockdown, again kind of thing, before shutting down Sydney for 2 weeks amid nightmare Delta strain outbreak. Now, once she did this lockdown, we've still not been out of this lockdown, right? With 50-something days now, and the lockdown won't be finishing until maybe September, the end of September. Probably by then they'll be extending it again. But fuck this website with their ads. I use ad blocker on some websites. This one requires you to have the ad blocker off, otherwise they don't show you. Anyway, just 4 weeks ago, New South Wales Premier Gladys Berejiklian stood on stage in Canberra and declared that her state would never go into lockdown again. All right, Miss Berejiklian was speaking at the Liberal Party, blah, 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 when she said this. Now, all this is online, all right? The Premier said that the lessons learned in last year's lockdown, which started to come into force in mid-March, before easing in May and June, July, I should say, meant that New South Wales would never again face such draconian restrictions. Well, goddamn, 50 days so far. We're still on lockdown, and it won't be finishing anytime soon. Fuck. You can't believe anything a politician says, clearly. All right? Going to, the rise of self-harm and the use of mental health services since COVID pandemic began. Everything's raising up. You raise me up. Suicide rates. You raise me up. I wish it wasn't this way. Please be strong. Enough of... What's his name? I can't remember his name, but he's a really cool singer, right? Anyway, going to this one right now. Look at this potentially depressed person sitting in bed on her phone, right? Lifeline breaks record for most calls in a single day amid lockdowns. Fuck. Anyway, Lifeline has again broken its record for the most calls received in a single day as the stress of COVID lockdowns increased demand for the support line. Thank God this support line is existing, right? Thank goodness. People that have issues that are going through stress and anxiety and depression, and hurtful thoughts, thank goodness that they're able to call people like this. I will show you the number in a second, but just under 3,500 calls were made on Monday, as the highest in Lifeline's 57-year history. Wow! I wonder why. It's because she can smell drugs. That's the reason, right? She can smell a dead body from a mile away. Who needs a cadaver dog when you've got that lady? Anyway, going to this one again. Okay, highlighting the mental... Going back to Lifeline again, okay? Going back to Lifeline, just so you guys know what we're up to. Highlighting the mental toll of the pandemic, Lifeline has revealed 5 of its 10 busiest ever days all occurred this past month. Now, if you or anyone else needs help, please call one of these numbers, all right? They help you. They will do you good. Suicide's terrible. All right, those type of thoughts, terrible. No one wants to hear. No one wants to feel those things inside of your body. But if you do, call one of those numbers. Get the help you need. All right. Now, effects of self-isolation, effects of isolation and loneliness. Right. Mental and physical health are interconnected. All right. Social isolation, adverse health consequences range from sleeplessness to reduced immune function. Loneliness is associated with higher anxiety, depression, and suicide rates. What damage is these lockdowns? What are these lockdowns doing to us in the long term, right? What effects will these lockdowns do to us later? All right, we save a few lives because we're putting a few more people, in their houses more than usual. All right, we save a few lives this way. I believe the long-term effects of this could potentially be worse. Terrible, right? Isolation. This is an interesting quick one. Isolation and hallucinations, right? The mental health challenges faced by astronauts. All right, because they're in space. There's not too many people on the International Space Station, right? You're up there for so goddamn long, and you've got no, you've got no peace of mind, all right? This was an interesting run. Have you guys heard about this one? Russia claims that NASA astronaut had a mental breakdown in space, damaged equipment to go home early. I don't know if you heard about it, but 2-3 years ago, there was these reports on the International Space Station that someone had potentially been drilling a hole in the International Space Station. Why would they do that? And as a result, there was an air leak. Air was getting, at a very tiny level, sucked out of the space station. What? Who would do such a thing, right? Well, this is what these type of situations can do to the human brain. Humans are social creatures, right? We want to be mixing with other people. We want to be, we want the freedom to do whatever we want, right? But when we've got people like Big Nose Berejiklian sniffing us all back into our houses, shit can happen up here, all right? It's not good shit. So, inmates have to go to prison when they do something bad, right? Unfortunately, there's such a thing as, what is it actually called? Well, let's read on it right now, right? Inmates held in solitary confinement, that's the name I was trying to think, experience a range of mental health problems, all right? Including anxiety, panic attacks, insomnia, paranoia, aggression, and depression, all right? These things have been well documented in the jail culture, all right? Prison culture for a long time, right? People have been going into isolation for hundreds of years. Obviously, jail and the isolation in your cell is a lot worse than what we're experiencing at home with Netflix and potential garden out the back and stuff like that. Obviously it's a lot worse, but the same situation is there. It's fundamentally there, just not as bad as jail. But that's what happens to people in jail, right, after a long period of time. Now, going back to Gladys, all right, just Friendly Geordies is a really cool Australian YouTuber. We made a couple of videos about this guy. One video about this guy regarding a man who is suing him at the moment. We will not speak his name. Brazz. That's all I'm getting. But he basically released a video today talking a little bit about not so much Gladys, but that's her name, Gladys, unfortunately. Go check that one out if you haven't seen it already. But if you have an issue with this woman, if you're living in the New South Wales area, because she is the New South Wales Premier of New South Wales, if you have an issue with her and you want to say something to her, please do tell this woman, tell this cadaver dog what you think. Contact the Premier. Now, there's something interesting I want to show you on this page. I really want to show you this, all right? You can send the Premier questions, comments, concerns, well wishes, or requests by completing the form below. Now, this is what I want to show you, all right? Now, obviously, if you're experiencing an emergency, call 000 if you're experiencing an emergency. That's the number you want to call, right? Now, if you need urgent mental health assistance, contact that number right now. Now, it's quite funny knowing that if you do need urgent mental health assistance, it's funny basically because she's potentially the reason you're experiencing that issue right now, all right? She's potentially the reason. It's funny. I just kind of, saw the connection. It's like when two dogs get jiggy with it, and after they're finished, they can't quite undo each other. They can't get away from each other. The connection is quite significant for that one right there. So yes, she's potentially one of the reasons why you may need to call that mental health number. Guys, if you like this video, we are doing daily videos on Channel 2. And of course, we have Channel 1 where we do vlogs every now and then. Instagram, Facebook, YouTube. All right, guys, at Tallboy Gareth. We're having fun every single day. If you are experiencing depression or anything like that, know that there are people out there that love you. And more importantly, you love yourself. You may not know it at the moment, but you do love yourself. If you don't at the moment, you will eventually. You are awesome. You are an amazing person. And just know that this pandemic will end very soon. And I hope to see you out in the streets, and we'll shake hands and we'll give each other kisses. And hey, if we get lucky with each other, we may even sleep with each other. I don't know. Probably not. No, I've got a girlfriend. Let's not do that. But we will get physical, all right? Not this physical, but we will get very physical, handshakey wise. Everyone will be happy very, very soon. Stay cool. Stay cool. I love you guys. Bye.